because we had some tech issues. So we talked about last week in quite a lot of detail how to know if your liver is a part of the issue and what the symptoms look like. If you haven't caught up with that, of course, absolutely head over to YouTube and check out last week's Ask Nat. We're not here for last week. We're now here for this week, which is super exciting. But as always, I'm going to share with you later on tonight, once I've done all my things on here and I've done book club and I've done the things, I am going to share with you a little special graphic which will summarize what we're talking about here tonight. And that is, how do you actually fix your liver if your liver is the issue? And so I think the most important thing is to understand that we all need our livers to function properly. And I think the word detox gets a bad rap. We talk about detox and we think, oh, I need to go on this like super strict regime where I cut out all these things and I can't do anything but drink water and breathe air. And your liver is detoxifying your body every single day in many, many ways. And one of the ways, and the most important way for me, there's many ways that it's important, but the most important way for me is your hormones. And if your liver can't do that properly, which is something that it should be doing, but if it can't and if it isn't, it can be a really big problem. So if you remember last week, we talked about some of those symptoms of your liver being the problem. And that was like waking. One of the things was waking between 1 and 3 a.m. And I used the example of drinking alcohol and waking between 1 and 3 a.m. And then everybody wrote back and said, but I don't drink alcohol. And I was like, no, I didn't say you did. It was just one example. If you've had a night where you've drank too much, you often find that you wake between 1 and 3 a.m. That was just an example, guys, like just one way of knowing. But there are other, and if you go back to that graphic, you'll see that there are other key signs that your liver might need some TLC. I'm here to talk to you tonight about what to do if it is your liver. So if you go back and look at that graphic and you're like, oh yeah, that's totally me. I have issues with my period. I get headaches. I often have insomnia between those appropriate times. Then definitely let's take a look at your liver. And I think also we've talked a lot about endometriosis and endometriosis awareness because March is Endo Awareness Month. We talked a lot about liver as a result because they definitely go hand in hand. So if you are that person that is a candidate, I hate to use that word, but you have suspected or known endometriosis, then you definitely want your liver to be working. And so we want to make sure that our liver is performing. It has 5 detox pathways, and when it comes to your hormones, we're looking at the second detox pathway, and we want to make sure that it's able to perform that, because if it cannot clear your excess hormones properly, guess what happens, guys? They just get recycled because your body's clever. It goes, oh well, I didn't clear it, so let's use it again. But that's not ideal. That is not ideal at all. So we want to make sure that your liver is detoxifying and able to clear the excess hormones so they don't become problematic, because you don't need to be a rocket scientist to work out that if you're not clearing your hormones, they just got to go somewhere. And if they're being reabsorbed, then that's going to add to the hormone imbalance pile. So here's the 101, and then I'm going to answer some questions because, as always, we're here for a few minutes, another 10 minutes or so. But how to support healthy liver detoxification 101. Let's go. Green leafy veggies. These are your cruciferous veggies, your broccoli, your cauliflower, your Brussels sprouts, your spinach, your silver beet, your cabbage. So important to help your liver and support healthy detoxification, and so easy. Here's the catch. They have to be cooked. You cannot eat these foods raw. They are so problematic for your thyroid if you do. They have known that they have components in them that when they're eaten raw become an issue for your thyroid because they contain goitrogens, which totally disrupt thyroid function. And I have seen patients where their thyroid imbalance is literally a result of their clean diet because they've been eating problematic foods that need to be eaten cooked. Most veggies need to be eaten cooked. it disables a lot of these problematic properties, and means that you can easily digest it and it can be utilized in the right way. So green leafy veggies that are absolutely cooked, bitter foods. So I'm talking about things like lemon, cacao. You can thank me later about that one. Even things like dandelion. I'm an absolute massive fan of dandelion tea for liver function. Really, really safe, really, really useful. You don't need a lot, you just need a little bit. Definitely, if your diet just consisted of dark chocolate, that would be problematic because you're probably not getting the nutrients from the other food groups. Which brings me to the next thing that you also need is fiber. So the importance of fiber, and this is why I created the cleanse mix, the balancing cleanse mix, which is part of the Yo Nuts range, is because it is rich in fiber, and excess hormones will bind to fiber and you will poop them out. So you need to make sure that that's happening, and if you don't have enough fiber, that can be problematic. This is a no-brainer, but drinking enough water, you're welcome, like revolutionary. Fasting can be really amazing to help to support liver health and liver detoxification, and sweating. Sweating is another amazing way to make sure that you are eliminating toxins and supporting your liver. So these are really easy things, guys, that you can start to implement in your everyday life to help to support your hormones and your liver and liver detoxification specifically. Now, I just want to see if there's some questions. Oh my goodness, there's so many questions. How do we work out which one that we're going to start with? So I will absolutely share a graphic with you guys tonight that you can go and check out that lists all of those things. And what I really, really want you to do is go and share it with your friends, because we're all in this together. And that's actually how we make a difference, because you are, what do they say? Your whole being, your whole state of being is the average of the 5 people that you spend time with. You want to be like the best of the 5 people, right? To help all the other people around you to up level. And if you can do that, that's going to make a massive difference, not only to other people's lives, but to your life as well. So let's have a look here. Waking up early in the morning may be due to the liver not working sufficiently. So Paige asked this question. So if you are subscribed to my mail list, I sent out an email this week that had all the breakdown of the various times that you wake up and what that actually means for you. But when it comes to the liver, definitely between the hours of 1 and 3, if you're waking at those times, you want to go and take a further look into what your liver's doing. If you're waking before that or after that, that's going to mean different things. So your body's always giving these amazing clues. We just have to work out what they are. What else we got here? How long roughly does it take to detoxify excess hormones from your liver? So I love this question because we're so mad for a timeline. We're so mad for a definite answer, and it's really difficult to know because I don't know what else is going in your life. I don't know all the other things that you're doing. But I think that the most important thing is you just start. And how you'll know is from one period to the next, one menstrual bleed to the next menstrual bleed. Because generally, when our liver is a problem, we often find that heavy bleeding is a problem. So if you notice that your period changed from 1 month to the next, you absolutely know that you're on the right track. So that's a really simple thing that you can watch out for. It's just seeing how different is this period to the next period. Is there less pain? Is it less problematic? Is it less bleeding? Do you have less PMS? Like so many signs that are associated with that I would encourage you to be looking at. Let's have a look. Can you not eat raw cabbage? You can totally eat raw cabbage, but you shouldn't be eating large amounts of it. And if you have a known thyroid problem, you probably shouldn't be eating raw cabbage. I know coleslaw is delicious. I get it. I love coleslaw too, but it can be problematic when you're looking at thyroid health because of those known goitrogens that can disrupt your thyroid function. Paige said she's going to subscribe. I love it. Water fast. You could do a water fast. That would be fine. I wouldn't advocate it for too many days. And just be reminded that if you do something like a water fast, that your cycle might go a little bit awry at that time. Best vitamins that help regulate and support your period. Oh, I wish that was an easy answer. There is not one best vitamin. And if that was the case, I would be such a rich woman. It's a combination of so many things when it comes to regulating and supporting your period. I don't know if your period's light or it's heavy, if it's delayed, if it's early, if it's got pain. There's so many variants to that. I think the main thing is excuse me, using the hormone worksheet, which is on my website, to work out what your hormone imbalance might be, and then working out what you need to do next to help to support a healthy cycle. When it comes to general periods, your liver, make sure your liver's working properly. Like I said, it's not about the vitamins, it's actually about everything else. The vitamins are like the cherry on top, but you can't out supplement a healthy diet. So I think unfortunately we've all been conditioned to believe that the vitamins are the golden ticket. And in clinic, I definitely educate patients more around their everyday principles and lifestyle rather than prescribing a whole lot of supplements that aren't sustainable. Supplements are there to change the way your body's working, but they shouldn't necessarily be used as a long-term solution unless you've also got a long-term problem. Like even stress can be a long-term problem. So can the liver affect PMS? Absolutely, 100%. I just mentioned that before. PMS is definitely a result of imbalanced hormones, and you can definitely see issues with PMS when the liver is unhappy. What to test, where to start investigating if chronically exhausted. I absolutely look at your thyroid. Can you have thyroid issues that don't show up in a blood test? We've talked about a lot about this in the last few Ask Nat lives, but you need the right person to look at your blood tests, and just because you're normal doesn't mean you're optimal, and you want to be optimal without symptoms. So if you are being told that you're fine but you don't feel fine, then that's not ideal. We need to look into that further. And my masterclass Debunking Your Thyroid tells you all the reasons why, what to look for, how to work out if your thyroid's an issue, how to read your test results properly, and what to do. So that's something you might want to look at as well. All right, so there's lots and lots of period questions. I reckon next week we're going to come back and we're going to talk about your period, how to use your period as a clue to what your body is telling you. I have to let everybody go for this evening because guess what, guys? If you're not part of book club, well, you're missing out. But I need to get off to book club tonight. So stay tuned for the graphic that I'm going to share with you tonight about your liver. Start to apply some of those principles that I'm talking about. Make sure you share this with other people. Let's come back next week and talk about your period. Let's do that. There's lots of questions about the period. I will go into Facebook and answer some of those questions later. I'm going to say goodbye for tonight. Bye, guys. It was fairly quick. I know book club really interferes with everything, but I'll see you next week. I like me better when I'm with you. I knew from the first time I stayed for a long time, 'cause I like me better when